Hello everyone, this is Anandita and today we are going to study Coordinate Geometry, Chapter 3 of NCERT. René Descartes was a French mathematician in whose honor this branch of mathematics is known as coordinate geometry. He discovered a method of describing the position of a point in a plane. He described a pattern of horizontal and vertical lines, usually forming squares like these. And this whole pattern is known as grid. In his honor, this grid is known as coordinate grid. The coordinate grid has few horizontal and vertical lines. Let's see what those are named as. The x-axis is a horizontal number line on a coordinate grid. So on the bottom we can see this line is known as the x-axis. Again, if we go through the horizontal lines, it is known as the x-axis and the vertical lines are known as the y-axis. So this one is the y-axis as it is the vertical number line. So in the number line we have all seen there are divisions with unit distances between them. In the same manner, in the y-axis we can also see it has been numbered from 0 to 6 and so on till infinity. Here each of these divisions are of unit length. So they are all equidistant from each other. Similarly, in the x-axis as well, we will have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on as the numbers, which will help us to find out the position of anything in this plane. So this is the y-axis. In the number line, this is the origin. On the right hand side, we have the positive direction, which has these positive numbers. On the left hand side we have the negative direction, which has the negative integers. So this is actually x-axis, which is the number line in one-dimensional figure. That means if we have a line as a one-dimensional figure, then we only have one dimension to measure. But in two-dimensional figures, where we have the x-axis and also the y-axis. In such cases, the method of naming the positions is quite different. So let us consider the intersection of the x-axis and y-axis as the origin here. So the yellow point over here is the point of intersection of the x-axis and y-axis, and this yellow dot is the origin. On its right hand side we have all the positive values. On his left hand side we have the negative values of x-axis. Similarly, upwards if we go along the y-axis, these are all positive values, and if we go downwards we can see these are all negative values of the x-axis. This is the same pattern in which you will get the graph papers. In the graph papers we have similar divisions. According to the question, we will divide the whole page of the graph into the 4 sections. So we can see the right hand side of the x-axis and the top part of the y-axis is creating a section or a part over here. So this particular section is known as a quadrant. When the number lines are extended into the negative number lines, you add 3 more quadrants to the coordinate grid. So the positive sides of the two axes have created one section, or rather quadrant. Similarly, these two sections of the x-axis and y-axis have created another section, which is another quadrant. So we can see all this intersection of the two axes have created 1, 2, 3 and 4 quadrants. Okay, so we are going to name these 4 sections or quadrants as quadrant 1 or the first quadrant, then quadrant 2 or the second quadrant. Please keep in your mind that the names are fixed, okay, and the naming system will go anti-clockwise, okay, it will move anti-clockwise. So the bottom left corner is known as quadrant 3 or the third quadrant, followed by the fourth quadrant on the bottom right corner. So these are the names that we have to remember, okay. So whenever we say the first quadrant, you have to remember this is the first quadrant. Whenever we say the third quadrant, it is on the bottom left corner of the grid or the graph. Coordinates are an ordered pair of numbers that give the location of a point on a grid. Suppose, let us take this first quadrant right over here. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, and they have been evenly numbered. Now, let this be the origin. Let us see where does the point 3, 4 lies. So, we'll go 3 to the right and 4 times upwards, and this is the position of the coordinate 3, 4. So, the position of this point has been named as 3, 4 within first bracket. So, let us see what is actually the meaning of it. The first number is always the x coordinate or abscissa. So, the first number right here is 3 for this particular position. So, this 3 or this position is actually known as the x coordinate or abscissa. Why x coordinate? Because we have moved 1, 2 and 3 times along the x-axis and the value is 3. So, we will place the first value as the position with respect to the x-axis. That's why it is known as x coordinate or abscissa. The second number is always the y coordinate or ordinate. So, then the second number here is 4. We can see along this particular y-axis we have moved 4 times. See this direction, here it is 4. So, since we have moved 4 times upwards, so the value will be plus 4, and this position is known as y coordinate or ordinate because the position is with respect to the y-axis. So, as a whole, this is the coordinate, and the first one is known as the x coordinate or abscissa. The second one is known as the y coordinate or ordinate. You cannot write the x coordinate in this position and the y coordinate in this position. It will be completely a different point. You always have to mention the x coordinate first and the y coordinate in the second position. Now, let us learn how to plot ordered pairs. So, we have an ordered pair right over here. A coordinate is given for a point 2, 3, but we do not know where the exact position of this particular point is. So, let us see where it is. So, the first step will be always to find the x coordinate first, moving horizontally either right for positive direction and left for negative direction. If you have negative values, then you will go to the left, and if you have positive values, you will go to the right. Okay. So, right here for this particular point, the value is 2, rather plus 2, that is a positive value. That's why we'll move to the right. So, we have moved 2 positions to the right. Next, the second step will be start from your new position. So, our current position is right over here at 2 on the x-axis. From this position only, we have to find the y coordinate by moving vertically either up for positive value or down for negative value. We know this is the y-axis, this is the positive side, and downwards will be the negative side. So now here we can see the y coordinate is 3, which is a positive value. Therefore, we will move upwards. So from the new position, not from the origin, but from the new position, we will move upwards. How much? 3 houses or 3 times. So right now we have reached the point, and this is the position of the ordered pair 2, 3. So this is the point whose coordinate is 2, 3. Now let us learn how to find out the ordered pair if the point is given. In the last example, we have seen that when the ordered pair is given, we found out the position on the grid. Right now, the position is given, but we have to find out the ordered pair or the coordinate. We'll try in the same manner. The step 1 will be to find out how far over horizontally the point is by counting to the right for positive or left for negative. So we can see it is on the positive side of the x-axis. So we will move to the right hand side. So when we move to the right hand side, we can see we have moved 5 times. Okay, so that means the x coordinate will be 5. So this is the first position, the position for x coordinate. We have moved 5 times along the x-axis, therefore the x coordinate or abscissa will be 5. Next, the second step is that now count how far vertically the point is by counting up for positive values or down for negative values. Again, we can see that the point is on the positive side of the y-axis. Therefore, we will move upwards, right? But always remember, we have to start from the new position that we have got. So the point right over here, or we are at this particular point at point 5 of the x-axis. From this point only, we will move upwards. And here we can see we have reached the point. Now we have gone 4 steps up, right? How can we understand? Right over here, if you go along this line, we can see we have already written here 4. So the new position of the point is now 5, 4. 5 was the point along the x-axis, that is the x coordinate. 4 is the position along the y-axis, that is the y coordinate. So what will be the ordered pair of this point right over here? Can you say? So for finding out the position, we have to move first along the x-axis. So we have moved once. So what should be the value here is 1. So the value will be of the x coordinate will be 1. And now we are moving upwards, and the value is 1 again for the y coordinate. So we have moved 1 time along the x-axis and 1 time along the y-axis. Therefore, the ordered pair for this particular point will be 1, 1. Let's see what will be the position of this point right over here. But we can see it is not inside the quadrant, right? This is the first quadrant, but till now whatever points we have come through, all of them were inside the quadrant. But this one is on the x-axis itself. So this is a special condition, okay? So either on the graph paper, we will have the points on the x-axis or the origin or the quadrants, any of the 4 quadrants, okay? So depending upon its position, we will name it. For finding the position of this particular point, we can see it is lying on the x-axis. So let us move towards it starting from this origin. So let's start here. So we'll move how many times? 4 times. So therefore the x coordinate will be 4. Next we have to move along y-axis. But we can see that the point is right over here. It is neither up nor down, right? So we don't have to move any further. So since we are not moving and the position here is 0 of the y-axis, therefore the coordinate will be 4, 0. 4 is the x coordinate, so along the x axis we went 4 times. So x coordinate is 4. Along the y-axis we are not going anywhere. We are at 0. Therefore the y coordinate will be 0. And the ordered pair will be 4, 0. We can also say that this point lies on the x-axis. Move to another example. The point is right on the y-axis now. So what should happen? We should move always along the x-axis first. But we can see the point is right over here, right? Along the x-axis, it is right at 0. If we go vertically down, we can see we are right at 0 along the x-axis. So we do not have to move anywhere along the x-axis. So we can say that the x coordinate will be 0. Now to find out the y coordinate, let's move along the y-axis, and we can see that we have moved 5 times. So the y coordinate will be 5. So the final ordered pair will be 0, 5. Now let us learn how to plot points or find out the coordinates in the 4 quadrants. This is the scenario of your graph paper. So this is how we can solve sums or questions in the examinations as well. So let us take a scenario where the value of x is negative. Till now we were dealing with all the positive values and the points were lying on the first quadrant or the x-axis or the y-axis. What will happen if if the x coordinate is -2? That means if the x is negative, you move to the left of the origin. So this is the origin with value 0. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Again, if we go to the negative side, this is -1, this is -2, this is -3. If we go along y-axis, this is 1, 2, 3, and so on. And if we go downwards along y-axis, this is 0, this is -1, this is -2, this is -3. This is how we have to write in the graph paper as well. So since the value of the x coordinate here is negative, we will move in the negative direction to -2. Now, if the value of the y coordinate is negative, then you move down below the 0 or origin. This is the origin, right? This is the point of intersection. Don't get fooled by this. I have just given a new scenario to you so that you do not get confused. The origin is right over here. That is the intersection of the x and y axis. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, and here -1, -2, -3, and so on. So right here, what we have to do, we have to move to the negative side, or we have to move downwards along the y-axis. So we move down 3 times. So this is -3. Okay. Now let's look at the grid for the 4 quadrants. Here this is quadrant 1, and all the points which lies in the first quadrant will have both x coordinate and y coordinate positive. Okay, both the numbers or both the x and y coordinate will be positive, +2, +3, these kind of coordinates. The points which lies in the second quadrant will always have the x coordinate negative and the y coordinate will be positive. So one example will be -2, 1. In the third coordinate, both the x and y coordinate will be negative. So the point lying in the third quadrant will be -2, -3. Similarly, in the fourth quadrant, all the points will be in the form where the x coordinate will be positive and y coordinate will be negative. Example would be 3, minus 4. Let's learn how to plot in 4 quadrants. Let us take the number minus 3, minus 2. We can see both the x and y coordinate here are negative. So the first step will be to plot the x coordinate, first moving to the left when the number is negative. Since the number here is negative, we will move towards the left hand side along the origin. Okay, so let's move to the left hand side. So how many times? Minus 3. So this was the origin, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay, now starting from this position, we will plot the y coordinate, moving from your new position down to when the number is negative. So we have minus 2 right over here. So from this new position, we'll move down by how much? Minus 2. So this is the position of the coordinate minus 3, minus. Let's plot minus 2, 2 minus 2. So when the x is positive and y is negative, plot the ordered pair in this manner. So the x coordinate is positive, so we'll go along the x-axis in the positive direction. This is the origin. Let's move twice. Okay, 1, 2. This is the new position. From here, we will again move how much? By minus 2, right? The y coordinate is minus 2. Since it is negative, we will move downwards along the y-axis. Okay, so this is the position of the coordinate minus 2, 2, minus 2. How to plot in 4 quadrants? So we can see right over here, we have another example, minus 2, 2. Let's see, when the x is negative and the y coordinate is positive, plot the ordered pairs in this manner. So the x value or the x coordinate is negative here, so we'll plot here. Again, y is positive, will go upwards from this new position. So this is the position of minus 2, 2. How to plot this ordered pair? Now, till now we have learned how to plot points where the coordinate is given and we have to find out the position. Here also the same thing is given. An ordered pair is given, minus 1, 2. So where do you think the point lies, in which quadrant? So let's plot from the origin, minus 1 to the left hand side as it is negative in the x-axis, and upwards from the new position twice. This is 1, this is 2. So this is the position of minus 1, 2. And where do you think this point lies? This point lies in the second quadrant, right? Now let us plot 2, minus 2. So starting from the origin, we'll move to the right hand side because 2 is here positive. So right hand side, again y coordinate is negative, so we'll move to minus 2. Okay, so here the 0, minus 1, minus 2. This is minus 2. Okay, so this is the position of 2, minus 2. Let's plot this one, minus 3, minus 2. So from the origin, we'll move towards the negative direction of the x-axis because the x coordinate is negative. Again, we'll move towards the negative direction of y because the y coordinate is negative right over here. So this is the position of minus 3, minus 2. So we can see we are almost plotting in all the quadrants. Okay, so we have learned how to plot the positions and how to name the order. Thank you for everyone. I hope you have understood.